So last week I ran out of pages in my current bullet journal. It was kind of a bittersweet moment. On the one hand, I'm really happy that I gave bound notebooks a shot, and this was actually my first bound bullet journal. But on the other hand, I'm happy that it's finished because that pushed me to try something that I've been meaning to for a long time now, which is switching things up and making my own notebook. Right as I was getting close to finishing it, Christine made a tutorial on how to make this beautiful cover for travelers notebooks, and I knew it was a sign to finally make that change. So I got a couple of tools and materials and I made this beauty completely from scratch. I filmed the whole process, so a tutorial will be coming very soon, but in the meantime, if you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments and I will answer them in the next video. It was actually pretty easy and affordable to make, and I love the fact that I was able to choose my own paper and to make the dots as light as I wanted to, and to just make a system that's flexible enough to have sections while keeping everything together in one place. So I have 3 notebooks in here for now. The first one will be for keeping long-term collections that I'll be using throughout the year, so that way I don't have to transfer them every time I run out of pages. The second one will be for planning, and this one I'm probably going to have to switch out every couple of months or so. And then the third one I think I'm going to use for daily journaling, but I have plenty of space to add a couple more notebooks in here. So it's pretty much everything that I've had in my old bullet journal, but just separated into sections. Alright, so anyways, that being said, I was so ready and excited to dive into this new system, and of course I started off with the cover page. I was talking to my friends ChristineMyLinh, JennyJournals NicolesJournal here on YouTube. They all have amazing bullet journals and videos, and because we have such different styles, we thought it would be fun for all of us to follow the same theme this month and see how each of us interprets it. We chose to draw spring memories, or I guess whatever comes to mind when we say spring, and for me that's gotta be everything green. When I was little, we used to have this cabin in the mountains where we'd go all year round during the school breaks, and leading up to the cabin was like a long pathway surrounded by trees and ferns and all sorts of plants, and it was so much greenery that you could barely even see the sky or anything else. And I always have such fun memories when I think about it, and I love the thought of being surrounded by nature, so that's what I drew for my cover page. I'm so curious to see what the other girls came up with, so I will have links to their videos in the description. Make sure you watch them next, and I promise you're gonna love their channels as much as I do. Alright, so don't let the cover page fool you, because this setup has actually been one of the most minimalistic I think I've ever done. I've noticed that I tend to over decorate my pages as I set them up, and then by the time they're filled in at the end of the month, it can get kind of cluttered and distracting. Not that I mind that look in any way, but for me, you know, especially now that I've split my system into sections, I really want the planning part to be highly functional, and sometimes I can lose focus of that because instead I'm thinking, you know, like what theme should I choose and which colors would look good and all that stuff. And I also have to admit, and please let me know if I'm not the only one, but sometimes when I need to, let's say I need to make a spread or a list or something, I don't always have the time or ideas on how to incorporate that spread within the monthly theme. And so often I'd give up and just use a piece of paper to write things down, because it was quicker and easier than having to come up with something that went with my theme. Because my OCD wouldn't let me have like 10 decorated pages and then one random simple one, and I don't know, I know that sounds silly, but whatever, it is what it is. So I'm planning on slowly filtering out the stuff that I don't need in my planning section, including like too many decorations or drawings and stuff, and just going back to basics for a bit and see how I feel about it. And then, you know, on the other hand, I can focus all of my creative energy into the cover page, as well as in my journaling notebook or in my sketchbook, because there I don't have to worry about the functionality of the spreads. and I can have more freedom. So anyways, the point is that if you relate to any of this, then just know that it's okay to press restart and focus on functionality. Don't worry so much about themes and colors and making each and every spread look beautiful to the point where it stops you from actually planning. You know, that stuff, sometimes it comes naturally, other times it doesn't, and I think that's actually why so many people get frustrated and give up on their bullet journals, because they expect every spread to be Instagram worthy, if you know what I mean. But I think it's all about finding that balance between getting your creative satisfaction and finding that functionality. Anyways, now I think it's about time we get back into the setup. So the spread that I'm doing right now has got to be one of my favorites that I think I've ever done. It's so clean and simple, and it's just exactly what I was going for with this setup. So how I imagine this habit tracker to work for this month is, of course, I'm going to fill it in every day. And for that, I'm just going to darken up the circles in the days where I completed those habits. So it will look something like this. And I think this way it's going to be a bit clearer to see the individual habits and then see what needs improvement and so on. Alright, I am keeping this next spread extremely simple. You've seen it in a lot of my previous setups and I haven't changed it since because it's just perfect for what I need. Moving on to the last pages, which is my weekly spread. And I actually messed up the days a bit. I forgot to add Sunday. I do that quite a lot actually, but whenever that happens, I just go over the lines with my Uniball Posca pen. It's really opaque and it just covers those lines right up. So I use that trick for all my small mistakes. Again, the spread was really minimal for me and I was itching so bad to keep adding things. It just felt a bit incomplete, but I had to remind myself that these spreads are gonna get filled in, and you know, I really wanted to try to do something different and stick with it just to see how I feel about it. Alright guys, it's time for the final flip through. Here it is. I'm so excited for this change and I can't wait to continue to share my process with you. And of course, you're going to see this all filled in my next plan with me video so that you can see how it worked out. Let me know if you also want to see the setup for my other notebooks in here. They're empty now, but I can do a video on how I set them up as well. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. And of course, also make sure you watch the other videos from this collaboration to see what the other girls came up with and get even more inspiration. Alright, I hope to see you in my next video, and until then, take care. Bye guys!